Tonight on Politically Incorrect, rocker Marilyn Manson, Mrs. Brady, Florence Henderson, Talk Radio's G. Gordon Liddy, and conservative activist Lakita Garth. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for that spontaneous outburst. I tell you, this UPS strike is getting ugly. Have you been following this? Have you been waiting for a package? It's getting, but there is a good side to it. Over at the Home Shopping Channel, the stuff is so backed up that their crap is coming back into style. Yes, and President Clinton has a new fundraising problem. Boy, the committee isn't even in session. They have problems with this. Apparently, an Oklahoma Indian tribe was at the White House giving their last dime to him. They gave $100,000 in the hope that land that they gave up like 100 years ago would be receded back to them. And not only that, the real incriminating thing for Clinton is that the Indians kept calling him by his Indian name, Pocahontas. Now, I kid the president. From across the ocean, interesting news. I thought this is a sign of the times. London says they have absolutely run out of cemetery space. You can't die there anymore. They say they have not room for one more corpse, which apparently is why Rod Stewart is always on tour. Kidding, I kid Rod Stewart. Also in London, this is the talk of the British airwaves now. Apparently Lady Di has a new boyfriend. Have you seen this? He is an Arab playboy named Dodi Fayed, and apparently they say, the press over there says, he is helping her overcome her repressed sexuality. Or as they say in London, getting in touch with your inner Fergie. All right, thanks for coming. It's all been satirized for your protection. Show. Let's meet our panel. She is an entertainer, activist, and a former Miss Black California. Her forthcoming rap CD is called Lakita Garth. There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Star of stage, screen, and television. She's known worldwide as Mrs. Carol Brady, the very Brady Florence Henderson. Hello, Mrs. Brady. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Author, actor, plumber, and talk radio host. No one else is quite G. Gordon Liddy. Gordon, good to see you. Thank you. And he is the rock music phenomenon who the governor of Oklahoma calls proof that society's moral values continue to crumble. It's huge CD hit. By the way, this is a great album. Antichrist superstar Marilyn Manson. Hey, man. Thank you. Okay. Well, all right. I'm glad you're all here. We have, of course, a very controversial figure here, Mrs. Brady.
Look out.
I want to protest something.
You want to protest already? I haven't even asked the question.
I know, but I want to protest something. I've seen the promotional material for this show. Here you've got a guy who, as far as I know, has never even been busted for being, impersonating a human being or anything. And I've got 9 felonies for which I am totally unrepellent, and he is supposed to be the bad guy. Now, what's going on? Where are standards in this country?
That's a good point. You have been to prison. They have tried to arrest you, but they haven't succeeded.
Right.
Right.
It's the lipstick. If we put some lipstick on him, I think everything will change.
I'd like to see you try. don't Christian groups need somebody to protest against? Isn't there a symbiotic relationship between whoever they're against, be it you or the gays or whatever, abortion clinics? Don't they need each other?
Or Kathy Lee Gifford, you know.
There's an old saying that the devil has always been the church's best friend because he's kept him in business. And I think, like you're saying, they've picked me to be that. But I don't mind the protesting. I just wish that they would get the facts straight because they think that I do a lot of things. But I'm really about individuality, and that's really the bottom line.
I think you guys have it totally backwards. You guys have it totally backwards. You're saying that the church needs people like Marilyn and other people to stay in business when actually Marilyn wouldn't even exist.
Manson.
Well, Brian, if we really want to get real here, because that's his real name, that's what his mama named him. But the point is that his
do you call
album
him
is
Cassius
called
Clay, too?
Anti-Christ. But he would respond. But you know what? Even the name of his album, Anti-Christ Superstar. If there was no Christ, there would, Christ he needs Christ to stay in business. Because if he's trying to push the envelope against whom? And that's the whole point. I think that when people are talking about
Christ
they show
is
up,
really a metaphor there.
Yeah,
exactly.
but they show up at these concerts and they protest. I think it's a sad commentary when we have put it on the slate that only the Christian right thinks that there's something wrong here. I don't know.
Now, there are rumors about what you do, and then there's the reality of what you do. There are, for example, you do rip pages out of the Bible in your concert. You do wipe your ass with the American flag. Some of these things, you have to admit, are controversial.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they're designed to make people think, but the point with a Bible or a flag is to say it's only as valid as you make it in your heart. A piece of paper.
It's all about perception, isn't it, Marilyn?
A piece of paper or a piece of cloth doesn't mean anything. It's what you believe. And I want people to think about what they believe. I want them to consider if everything they believe is what they want to believe or that's what they've been told that they have to believe.
I agree with that. In the sense, I do agree with that point in the sense that I have more respect, and some people, you hear me out when you hear this, so I have more respect for this young man than I have for the majority of people in this country. Because 86% of Americans claim to be Christian, Judeo-Christian, whatever else, and they're not. They're hypocrites. But the point is that when I see, it does draw a line in the standard. We need to realize we are in a cultural war, and everyone wants to straddle the fence. Either you are anti-Christ or you are Christ. It's as simple as that. Either there are standards or they're not.
In us?
I don't. No, I don't. I don't wipe my rear end with the American flag. And I don't see
but you don't have
giving someone oral sex, giving somebody oral sex on stage. He wants to.
This show, I haven't seen that.
I got to take a break. We'll come back to this. Okay, some of us are old enough to remember what a rock band had to do in former days to upset parents. And it really wasn't very much, right? I mean, the Beatles, when they first came out, had long hair. It wasn't really much longer than yours, Gordon. I'm not kidding. It was not long hair, and they were apoplectic.
Talking about that and how people look and their, perception and the way people look at you and go, my God. But you know what? I look back, seriously, I look back at the early Brady Bunch days. I look like the Antichrist. That hair and the skirts and the platforms, right?
We over the course of time. Now, in 1956, when Elvis went on Ed Sullivan, they wouldn't show him below the waist.
Right,
You know this? I mean, this was history.
Yeah, I remember it.
Because that would upset, I guess, America. In 1967, Mick Jagger went on with the Rolling Stones. Ed Sullivan couldn't sing Spend the Night Together. He had to change it to Let's Spend Some Time Together. And I think along the way, if you put what the rock groups were prohibited from doing with what kids were doing, there is a difference. I mean, in 1956, when that was what pushed the envelope, the troubles in the school were chewing gum and patting up a skirt. Today, they're throwing babies out with the bathwater, literally. Now, isn't there a connection there?
Well, I think if parents spent more time trying to censor rock music and art and movies and things